Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know how everything is. Um, and I'm going to set up a poll. And yeah, what's going on, everybody? You. Tell me something good. Tell me that you love me. Tell me something good. Tell me that you love me. What's going on? Good to see everybody. I just launched a poll. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I just got one of those sort of, it's a nice mic. It's a really nice mic. I won't lie. It's one of those cheap mics that you get off of freaking, like, what's it called? You can find these at like the convenience store, whatever, just like the regular superstore. If you guys can hear me, let me know. If you guys can't hear me, let me know in chat. I was gonna just turn on this real quick and see if I can hear myself, but let's see. There we go. We got audio, baby. Good to see everyone. So I titled this stream, Tell Me Something True, Tell Me Something Good. Tell me that you love me, baby. You don't actually have to tell me that you love me, but I will put my hat on, right? I'll put my hat on so I'm not that big of a mess. Yeah, kind of a kickback, chill stream, whatever you guys want to say. Josh Gee, let's go. Johnny Winchester. I don't know who Johnny Winchester is, but that is a dope reference, my dude, my guy. That is a dope reference. I bet Johnny Winchester is true. There's actually a person like that out there in the world, folks. Actually, someone like Johnny. There is both a Josh Gee and a Johnny Winchester. There has to be both, guys. There has to be both. Absolutely. I just got, so earlier today, I'll just kind of give you, it's been good, Josh. Thank you for asking. Earlier today on the channel, we did a brief live stream on leadership. We talked about leadership, the political, the global, the corporate level, all that kind of stuff. We talked to, people were asking about religion. So we talked about leadership in a little bit in the context of Christianity. I'm an atheist in the context of Buddhism. Hey, Jim, what's going on? Let's talk about the budget surplus. Yeah, that stuff, I got nervous for the first time about that stuff, sometime last year. It's always curious to know how healthy the United States or the global economy is and what we're able to communicate. Jimi Hendrix, good to see you. Good to see you. Jimi Hendrix was an amazing guitarist. I like that guy. That guy was a beautiful musician. Yeah, budget surplus is decades away. I think that's right. Especially now with the big beautiful bill passing, it seems like we are going to go even deeper. And America is so resilient. That's one thing I want to say. America is a resilient place, and so the sort of mess or the cacophony, the bad stuff that's happening, and all that stuff. When people say that Trump is going bad on his most important campaign promises, whether you supported him or you didn't, there's still a version of reality that we have to be able to talk about and deal with. And so, a political true thing would be like, well, the big beautiful bill is going to help us or it's not. How can I tell if this cutie at my gym is into guys? What's up, Rickshaw? Good to see you again. Trump is in Epstein. We can talk about Epstein a little bit. Budget surplus is happening right now. I'd hope so. Yeah, it'd be good to have. So just about Epstein, real quick. I was arguing with one of my friends online about this. Rob Knorr. We're not best of friends. We're not enemies by any stretch of the imagination. But I went on his show a little bit earlier tonight, and this was my point about Epstein. What I said is that, well, if you read the 2019 Epstein indictment, what does it actually say? And it said that Jeffrey Epstein had stuff going on in 3 of his houses, right? If you go really deep into the case files, you can see there's all these testimonies, including Trump, that Trump kicked the guy out of Mar-a-Lago or whatever in 2007. But it's very much about Jeffrey Epstein. It's very much about a guy who had a history of sexual perversions and stuff like this, who appeared to have reset up a system anywhere he went to continue that type of behavior. And so, yeah, that was my main point about that is like, if I was asking what's true, what's good about, this Epstein stuff finally being behind us or digging it back up, what can we actually think about here? My sort of take on that is that, well, I would need a little more to go on. It would be really complicated to have some big cover up. So Rick, I hope that answers your question. I think if a cutie uses sort of legal thinking, if she thinks in terms of like complex systems, who knows? Maybe she's into chicks, maybe she's into dudes, but she's got a good head on her shoulders. It might be none of your business too, And no offense, fellas. So, yeah, ask her about Epstein. Ask her about Diddy. Ask her about Immanuel Kant and epistemology. Anything. I'll just let you guys know, I got an awesome deal. I got $50 for a Chromebook today. So I have a little computer now. I can look stuff up. I'm going to start doing more stuff on my sort of main channel. Not I still love going. I went live again because I love being able to talk to you guys in chat and stuff like that. But yeah, if you guys have any stuff you want to talk about, I can Google stuff now too. Hey, Denk, good to see you. Denk Malnak. I don't speak German. I apologize. I wish I did. Go woke, go broke. I'm the first man to have invented those words. True story. I said that one time in chat. Guillermo Dormortor. Yeah, go woke, go broke. Yeah, I think it's important to have, one of the things we talked about on today's leadership stream was, being able to understand different perspectives and still make up your own mind as a person. So that's how I would respond to that. If someone disagrees, let me know. I'm into dudes. That's cool, Rick. You're welcome here for sure. Yusef Sisek. Hello, sir. How are you? I'm good. Thank you for asking. I'm good. I just got a new computer today, so I'm figuring out how to use it. I didn't know about these until yesterday. But it's got this little tiny computer chip in it called a MediaTek 520, which has AI features to sort of optimize efficiency and tasks. But yeah, I was looking up this new CPU. I think it's an okay computer, and I found it online for $50. So I went and picked it up today from the actual store it was at. It was local too. So that's how I'm doing today is I have new computer, new toy day. I got super stressed trying to set stuff up. I'm usually pretty good with technology, but today I just wasn't, guys. I was not at all. I think I've seen this guy on Chris Hansen's show, How to Catch a thanks, Shannon. Appreciate you. Shannon, you might like this. This is very aesthetic. It's a blue hat, tan glasses, a tan hat. It's a little aesthetic. It's whatever. See, thank you, Jim. I appreciate you. I appreciate you standing up for me. Yeah. Ether madness is any. Is there such a thing as any? Is that responding to the title of this stream? Tell me something true. Is any. Is often means something is being, right? So if I said my sunglasses are tan, really lightweight philosophy, guys. If I said my headphones here, my head glasses, my headphones are tan, that is true. It's the case that, yeah, there's headphones here that are tan. If I said I have red headphones, that isn't. There's nothing. So if I had to respond to is any, which was Aether Madness's comment, whether it's true or false, it's a cool idea. Yeah, I think there is anything. Yeah, I'm not that existentialist. I can clunk around my little tiny bedroom studio a little bit and all that kind of crap. And yeah, is any, absolutely. Brazil, return ships with pure honey, coffee, and fish to ports in Chile, Panama, and Santos. The products will be transferred to other domestic consumers, South America and Asia. Yeah, Brazil's turning into an economic powerhouse. It's one of the foundational BRICS nations, which if we look at like Western trade partners, sort of inside, outside, inside out of Donald Trump's, beautiful, he says it's a beautiful idea for a beautiful version of our economy. A lot of people say, yes, okay, Don, and, they have their own idea. And so if we look at both how Western nations kind of produce stuff in Brazil, Brazil, it does a ton of great business with countries like India, China, Russia, South Africa, very modern nations. So welcome, Andre. How can I tell if the guy I like is a guy? I don't know. Rick, I would appreciate it because just on topic of today's stream, if you could answer it. Hey, Karen, Vic, Adolf, Vodka, Vodketa. Hello, everyone coming into chat. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Is any budget surplus worth 3 trillion added to the deficit? Budget surplus, 3 billion added to the deficit. Yeah, it's difficult. I think when you think of global liberal economic mechanisms, we're putting two ideas together. At least practically, it's a good place to start. So, if I'm Joe Biden, my way of doing this, Joe Biden's way of doing this was, I'm going to give money to AI companies. AI companies are going to produce economic wealth. My chair is going to just become loose all of a sudden by the Holy Ghost or something. Yeah, by the ghost of Joe Biden. Yeah, well, my diddlies. And so, in that case, Joe maybe added to the deficit, and there's a reason to believe that this was something we should be doing. There's a reason to believe that. Hey, Mick M, what's going on? Good to see you. And so, that's just how I would start, is saying that I understand how an AI company and a semiconductor company in Taiwan or in Arizona, that's where I live, by the way, or wherever it is, right? Doesn't matter if it's Intel or someone else. They help other than software companies in Germany or in South America or someplace else, hopefully sell good products. And hopefully we get to talk about stuff like that. People remain aware. They're consistently reminded in a smart way that helps people move forward together. So, yeah, there's budget surpluses, budget deficits, and national deficits that all make sense, in my opinion. Tell me why that's not true. Tell me something good. Woo! Tell me that you love me. I love you, Brazil. Congratulations, Brazil, for denying exports of rare earths to the USA, which produce weapons. Yep. Yeah, lots of neutral nations produce weapons. Different countries do it differently. There's private companies, there's public research grants, all that stuff. So weapons, all that stuff. Good topic for another day or whenever. Vodka, why did you stop making commercials for Geico? Yeah, the gecko, the lizard, right? The lizard. Yeah, I like the car insurance commercials. Those were good commercials. So yeah. It wasn't a duck though. I think it was a gecko. I don't remember duck commercials in those. By the way, my name is Nathan Swift. Online I go by Duck. This channel is called Ducks Why. I appreciate everyone stopping by just for a couple minutes. If you want to like and subscribe, it helps me a ton. I try and do curated content, sometimes important topics without taking ourselves too seriously. And yeah, all that kind of stuff. Mick M, little trim and oil and tour set. Yeah, I'll give you guys maybe I will do, if I end up doing more for the home studio, other than just what I have here, which is a $50, very nice, by the way. Very nice. It was a $300 Chromebook laptop. But at some point I'll talk more about that. Maybe I've told people I would start a Discord. I haven't done it yet, so I obviously didn't mean it. But and then the shave, as Mick M points out. You should definitely shave. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate you. It's good to see you. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying your day at Walmart as well. I appreciate that quite a bit. Um, Hey, Josh, what's up? Yeah, if somebody's got a serious question, even if it ends up being a Rickroll, that takes priority, folks. So Joshua, go ahead. I'll keep an eye out for it. Adolf Linkler says, I can't grow a full beard to save my life. Give it 4 or 5 years, my friend. Give it 4 or 5 years, and know that you can clean up. You can take the sides back, sides off. Um, I don't have rules for men. I don't have rules for people. If you're into fashion, the aesthetic, if you're into self-care, that kind of stuff, cool, right? I've got, I'm sure I could talk about it with you, but I think it's appropriate, especially for people working at jobs, to spend 5% of their time, kind of thinking about their setup, how people perceive them. I'm a little bit like not internet autistic, actual autistic, right? I'm a non-normie. I can do. I'm a normie. I can do non-normie stuff, but and so that stuff's always been hard for me. It's much easier to just have my beard and be comfortable with it. Ain't that something, right? That's a responsibility. Tomoso Champ, I don't know what that means. Armani Brown, Indian homie good. What up, homie? Mudasir, good to see you, my friend. Let's go, baby. We out here. That's one of the reasons I love these late night streams. I don't know if Mudasir, if you're in the United States or if you're from somewhere else, how can you actually tell these days? But Indian homie good, Beta Chaudhry, I don't know that much. But what's up? I hope you're doing well. Bless you. Whoever it is that's supposed to be blessing you, or no one at all, bless you, my friend. You're not wrong, says, I think that's a big drop. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, came home with a beard like that. Oh, Vic. Good to see you, Vic. And yeah, I would be horrified. We don't really know each other, not like know each other or whatever, but I'd be horrified that Vic was anything other than a sexy demon with a beard after coming home from the hospital after 3 weeks. How could that have happened? No one knows. Oh, okay, Joshua. Oh, ha ha ha. Very funny again. Very funny again. Would you rather watch a tree grow or someone's knee grows? Ha ha ha. Very funny. Very funny, guys. I've always answered I wouldn't mind watching a tree grow. I'm a very patient man. A little bit of prefrontal cortex and a little bit not worrying about it too much, but it's cool to be a little bit patient. It's also cool to be able to take some risks sometimes when you understand them. So you're not wrong. I think this is responding to the statement of whatever it's called, of tell me something true or tell me something good. He says an elephant's foreskin. Oh yeah, these are so good. These are so good. So an elephant's foreskin is probably true. I don't know the physiology of elephants that well. But yeah, I'm not sure it'd be anyone's business to too deeply ask or understand or why that would be. But most of the time when I'm thinking of wildlife and curiosity, humans are curious with our big prefrontal cortexes, right? We want to understand things. We want to understand a very long-term story and how that story got there. This is often one way people decide true things is empirical evidence, what we can study and research, the scientific method. But even without that, right? If somebody asks you how much an elephant's tusk weighs and you didn't actually know the answer, but you held one time, you could say, well, I held an elephant tusk. It sort of felt like if it was 40 pounds. I don't know. I have a 40-pound weight in my garage. I held this tusk. It felt like my 40-pound weight. Good for you. That's a little bit of empiricism. Some people might say, well, I'm sort of sensing this, experiencing it, whatever. So that's a good comment. Thank you. You're not wrong. Andre Alcantara de Arajo. Andre, sorry, I'm going to butcher your name, obviously, but what do you think about the relationship between the USA and Gaza? The USA and Gaza. Yeah. I think that if we were able to be mature adults, and I can explain to you my split on this, what I would say is that in the United States, there's probably so much in Gaza that we have in common. Gaza has big communications companies. They had big ambitions for things like healthcare, and sort of developing this mixed model of private and public healthcare systems, right? Lots of, trying to mix a lot of moving parts together. So even though it's a very small region, there's a lot of really interesting social problems. It's very difficult to build political capital when you see something like the Al-Qassam brigades and Hamas seemingly endorse violence against Israeli civilians. By the same token, you might say, well, this is competition or this is ideology. Who's to say from the start? How do you know what's true? There's also senior leaders in the Israeli military whose job was to plan massive offensive efforts like the kind we're seeing now. So I hope that wasn't too heavy or serious of an answer. So that's my opinion, is there's a lot that we have in common, and there is, there's things we should be optimistic and work 10 times as hard to overcome for peace in that entire region, and peace for the leaders that are going to lead and the followers that are going to follow them. Welcome to politics. Welcome to society. I'm not related to Taylor Swift, to Karen from Walmart. I wish so. Have you heard the story of David collecting 200? I haven't. If you have a Bible verse and you think it's true, please feel free to post it. The Bible is wild, bro. Cool. Who here thinks Trump has the right to take Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship? Is she a native-born American? I can't buy that. I can't even. How do you even ask that question? I think citizenship has always been regulated by the federal government through law. That's my honest opinion. I'll be a little more blunt than I usually am, guys. So, this is me thinking I'm telling you something true, that we've always respected the federal government's right to enforce immigration and citizenship standards. And that has always been because we ask our politicians questions before we elect them. And if they don't answer the question the right way, then they have to account for in the law what happens. Whoops. Yeah, so that's basically it. I don't know where we all went. And so Donald Trump's violating a bunch of stuff. I just totally crashed out, right? My own CPU or GPU, boop, boop, boop. Robot duck shutting down. Yeah, so if someone asked about Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship, I don't think Donald Trump himself, the person, has very many rights, if any, to change the laws around citizenship. Tell me why I would be wrong about that. Tell me that we don't have strong reasons to just instantly treat the past like it's a speed bump in our country. I don't believe that's true. I believe if you believe we can learn a lot or understand a lot, or that there was wisdom in those times, let me know. Hit like if you want to subscribe too. That's also cool. You don't have to hit like, right? That was very hit like, right? U.S. history, all history. So I believe we learn a lot from history. That's my sort of core answer. I like Woody Harrelson a lot. He's an awesome, awesome actor. Wild Bushcraft. Is this telling me something good? Telling me something true? I need money to get out of the U.S. Well, I would be optimistic. Do you guys want to see? Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find this. Blammo. Mamacita Papadanya. Mamacita Papadanya. I ain't gonna dox myself, but that's a legit passport right there. What else would it be, right? Mamacita Papadanya. You guys know, what was that? Was that Outcast? Was that old Outcast? I forgot. That's some great American music. The ATL Atlanta scene produced a lot of really creative artists. I think Atlanta's a pretty interesting city. Not quite the South, not the South, right? It is the South, but it's Atlanta. So who knows? They ended up opening a bunch of, maybe that's something you could do, bushcraft. They opened a bunch of tech companies in Atlanta, if I recall correctly. So, yeah. Aether Madness says the Constitution spells it out regarding what's it called? Kaha Seho. I don't know if that means. I don't know what that means. When I was growing up, I don't know. Yes, she is. Constitution spells it out. I like hearing people say the Constitution tells us what people can't do because I'm selfish. Is that selfish of me? No, I'll go work 10 times harder than anyone else if I believe that. Let me go work 10 times harder because I believe in a Constitution. I believe that we got it pretty right. We can do better from there than anywhere else. What is a woman, says Karen from Walmart. Yeah, so, I think sexual identity, I think sex is an X and XY chromosome. When people are signifying or talking about biological sex, right? They're saying sex, what is a woman? And they're pointing to a picture on a textbook. Let's just go with that. Let's go with that for now. Let's be 5% more accurate about how we're asking the question if we have some challenges. If we have some challenges on that. Yeah, and so, what is gender? How many genders are there? Says John Blair. And Karen says, what is a woman? I think those are both answerable questions, guys. Just to be completely honest. Yeah, so, and gender, I think it can be whatever you say it was or say it is. Israel owns America from Aladdin. Maybe. What's up, Mr. Rajput? Good to see you. Yeah, we were talking about Epstein a little bit. Nobody's disproved it or offered a new point. I said the indictment was clear as day. Lots of facts that Jeffrey Epstein both hired sex workers illegally, as well as people that shouldn't have been sex workers, underage people. And he had staff involved. He had a system set up. And this was true for at least 3 of the properties and locations he frequented. And so what's true about Jeffrey Epstein? Well, at least that you have a very rich guy who has a system set up for sex trafficking, which sounds like it's for himself. John Blair is unpacking what is it called? I forgot what they are. Phenotypes. He's unpacking what X chromosomes typically do. So by John's definition, a woman has to have gone through pretty serious, well, you have to define menstrual system then too, John. If you're saying a woman is a human that gives birth and has menstrual systems, you have to define both of those. That's why we usually don't use that definition. Yeah, that's why we wouldn't normally use that. It could be said that there's, it's not inconceivable. It sounds plausible that we meet a woman or something that, she has basically a menstrual system, but for whatever reason it works differently. It doesn't count as menstruation. And so that would be difficult to make true. This is one of my challenges to people offering subjective, make stuff up a little bit, but talk about it. I don't believe you totally, John. You don't need me to believe you, but I don't believe you. Good luck. Yeah, you too, Mudasir. Have a good day. Take care. Hopefully we see you again. Kaizo Fox says Epstein files. Add something. Tell me something new, right? That's the whole theme of the stream is tell me something true. Tell me that you love me. Hey. Tell me something good. How do I sound, folks? Hopefully not too bad. Tell me that you love me. Hey. Is that a booger on my nose? That's really embarrassing. Welcome to streaming from a shitty studio. Oh my god. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go blow my nose, apparently. Oh. We back, baby. We back. No harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. That's funny as hell, though. That's one of the awkward things, right? You can have the nicest studio in the world, but I got a smartphone and a really nice crappy Chromebook, but nicest studio in the world. I've never seen like guys like a Piers Morgan or whoever it is, Jordan Peterson, have a boogie on stream. Trump also has a record on Epstein Island. That's what the people want to know. You know, Donald Trump banned Epstein in 2007. 2007 from Mar-a-Lago or whatever it is. So he was aware of him. Hey, Jessica, good to see you. So a woman that can't have kids isn't a woman. Good to know. Yeah, there's the other side of your answer. True, true, bad, true, not true, all those kinds of things. Gyro says, Alan Moore, you. I don't know who Alan Moore is. Should I look up Alan Moore? I'm going to look up Alan Moore, guys, because I have the power to do this now. He's an author. He's on BBC. He's got a clip from BBC. Alan Moore is an English author known primarily... Oh, V for Vendetta and Watchmen. Cool. I loved V for Vendetta. Vindictive, vivacious, all that kind of stuff. That stuff's cool. I love Natalie Portman. She's very cool. Stephen Fry is so funny. Yeah, you know, I consider people of like that ilk, like Stephen Fry. What's his freaking name? I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to find this dude now, but Tim Minchin's really funny. I'm sure there's a ton. But yeah, Stephen Moore or Alan Moore. Graphic novels are super sick as hell. Very cool. My buddy freaking one of my like really good friends that I lived with while we were in college and stuff. He was an amazing artist. He owns his own, like, it's like carpentry, but like he does woodwork, custom woodwork, all kinds of cool stuff. Basically, if you want something, he'll figure out how to make an amazing version of it for you. And yeah, so he introduced me to like adult comic books, like modern comic books and stuff. We went to a comic book shop once or twice or whatever, but yeah, stuff was very cool. Anyways, sorry. How is summer there? It's 100. It's hot. Today was a little humid in Arizona. It was like 110 degrees, which in Fahrenheit. So 43. It's been between about 43 and I think 45, 46. So not as hot as it could be, but it's pretty hot. It's pretty hot. Thank you for saying I'm a nice guy, Wild Bushcraft. I won't not fish for no. I don't want. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Try and yeah. Okay. Nightwing. Hello to you as well, Nightwing. Good to see you. Your PFP, your profile picture is very dark. I can't see what it is, but yeah. Longdon family says, to be real, if he was, which really, who knows? Don't you think the Dems would have exposed him? Oh, I can answer this. This is from Longdon family. Let's be real. If he was, and I think this is talking about Trump, which really, who knows? Don't you think the Dems would have exposed him? My opinion is that I was talking about this earlier. Everything is 10 times more complicated, and people are 10 times more inept whenever you try and do something. And so this isn't saying that we shouldn't be vigilant or ask questions or demand transparency at the appropriate level in government, and be willing to push for more when you need it, right? Be willing to push for more when you need it. And so at least in that context, you know, I think it's equally plausible that the Jeffrey Epstein story is a personal one, as has been told. A deeply flawed man with a very specific perversion, who happened to have a ton of money. Sorry, guys. Lena Debrum says hi. Hi to you too. Fede says hi. Hi to you as well. Dark Scroll, what's up? Hey again, bro. How you doing today, bro? Is it Monday or Sunday? Let me check. It's a Monday for me now. Yeah, it's 12:18 a.m. It's Monday, so I'm happy to be streaming, and I'm excited to get started with my week as soon as, whatever. When the stream ends, I'll probably have a couple cashews or something and then go to bed and then wake up and whatever. Hi from UK, getting ready to go out on a boat and earn some money. Cool, good luck to you, old boy. Good luck to you. Have a great trip. I don't know what else to say. Have a great trip. Have a good trip. Brazil is at most 33 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that's perfectly manageable. Maybe that's still a little bit hot. Let me see what 33 in Celsius is. Whoops. 33 Celsius to Fahrenheit. Yeah, 91. Yeah, so 91, just because I'm from Arizona, I can do a lot in 91 degree weather. I can, but 91, I know when you're like a competitive athlete and you do like cycling or running, any of that kind of stuff, 91 degrees, 33 Celsius. You have to adjust for it a bit. You have to figure it out. One thing that's helped me for at least high temperatures is a lot of like fast digesting, quickly available carbohydrates. Just really some of the bad foods and stuff seem to make it more difficult to regulate temperature, especially when you're in that sort of like sympathetic nervous system, when you have the heart rate, a little bit of adrenal glands, that kind of stuff. Your sinuses are working. All of that kind of stuff, guys. If you don't want to be the snuffleupagus, don't be the snuffleupagus. Kurt MCG, do you find food in your beard? No, I just found a booger in my nose, though. That was pretty funny. Hey, Shadow Realm. Yeah, we don't have a mod here. I just saw a bunch of spam, so no worries, but thank you. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you being here for sure. Do you ever find it when you, food in my beard? Not that often. I don't know, I suppose. If I'm, I don't like making gross noises with my mouth, but if I'm looking at what I'm doing when I'm eating or kind of paying attention without being super, hyper focused on it, it's not as problematic as people might think. As you can tell, it just is what it is. It just goes where it goes. I'm going to delete your stuff. Shadow Realm, I'm going to just put you in a 10-second sort of timeout. That should clear some of the spam messages as well. Daddy Shadow, don't you have a fan? Yeah, my house is very nice inside. Yeah, we've got in the US, and especially in Phoenix, nice big houses, 1,800 square foot houses, 1,500 square foot houses, 2,400 square foot houses with air conditioning units. Inside's not that bad. Outside is bad, but who doesn't like spending time outside? Who doesn't like spending time outside? Bro just kicked out Daddy's Shadow. No, it was a 10-second timeout I felt was appropriate. And it was just to delete the messages, right? He didn't break terms of service or anything, like whatever. I don't need to publicly go through it. You asked for it. Says, are Tesla considered remote control cars since they have batteries? Yeah, so in the technology term, a technology term that's sometimes used is called slave master. I know that sounds like it's a dirty sex, like SECKS, that word sex. It sounds like a dirty sex thing. But oftentimes when you have some form of device or machine capable of doing something, that can be sometimes referred to as a slave. You have a computer that's inside of it that's actually controlling the mechanism. And you can have a master device that controls. So you have a slave master thing. And if you Google slave master, like drone or something. And so rather than being a remote control car, a Tesla that could theoretically be controlled remotely would be a slave. That's the technical word, I think. Or it's one way of technically describing it. Daddy Shadowback. What's up? I don't speak. Is that a Slavic language? I don't speak that Slavic language, my friend. I apologize. Zach Khan says, free Palestine brothers, free Palestinian brothers, free Palestinian brothers, free Palestinian. Yeah, hoping so. If I was president, my plan would be that, you need the IDF strategic leaders and the top political decision makers that are most closely aligning and communicating within the IDF's strategic planning unit. You're in trouble. You're in timeout. You have homework now. You have homework, and you're a little bit in timeout. And on the other side, Al-Qassam, leaders in Hamas that are affiliating with Al-Qassam, you're also in timeout. Reconciliation time, folks. You're in trouble. If you're no longer able to contextualize political conversations, and at this point it is abundantly clear that is the case, then there's not a good guy and a bad guy. There's not an us and them. There is this connected problem where perhaps good-intentioned people with a warrior ethos are doing something truly problematic, really tragic. No, it's Russian. I don't speak Russian. I wish I spoke Russian. I wish I spoke every language. Are the people working on Microsoft Windows or Apple? I am on a Chromebook. This has a Chrome OS, which can it downloads Android apps, but a lot of the apps I think run on the web-based version of apps. So whatever. If you can spend one entire day with any celebrity, who will it be? Ooh, that's a good question. And Roddy Riffo, good to see you. Am I shadow banned? No, Karen, I see you. I didn't do anything. You got Shadow and you got Karen. You asked for it. Says, if you can spend one entire day with any celebrity, who will it be? It would be this guy. This guy, Michael Jordan. I like Michael Jordan. I'll be right back. Let me show you one more thing. You guys keep talking in chat. I'm going to go show you something. Keep talking in chat. Like the video. Please help me get the likes up, right? Have I not showed you Jordan here? Stay there, guys. Stay there. Ow. This is the other thing. Yeah, this is a old Looney Tunes Toon Squad Jordan jersey. That's not a kid's jersey, folks. Guys, do you see this? This isn't a kid's jersey. Okay? Tell me why I'm wrong. Toon Squad, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is a celebrity, everybody. Michael Jordan is a celebrity. I'll even put this on right now. That's how much I like Michael Jordan. Love the guy, right? My family's from Chicago, actually. My whole family's from Chicago, guys. And so I got the Toon Squad. You guys want to know something true about me? Is my whole family's from Chicago. Yeah, I am a nerd, Varshanka. Hell yeah. Yeah, so Michael Jordan's, been a big-time business magnate, investor, entrepreneur, founder, investor. So he'd be an interesting guy to talk to with the athletic background. Bill Gates would be another cool one. Barack Obama, if he's a celebrity. I think maybe Michelle Obama also was the first lady, right? She wasn't, but yeah, she's. I would definitely want to spend time with Michelle Obama and understand what she did as First Lady. That'd be very cool. That'd be very cool. Learn about that experience. Learn what it was like living in the White House. Yeah, I feel like I could ask her some interesting questions. Yeah, 1996. You guys want more basketball stuff? This is what, so this is just in case you guys didn't know. Some people, even people with like high functioning autism, right? A lot of people like collecting stuff. They have hobbies and stuff like that. So here's a Kobe Bryant card. This is from 1997, I think. No, this is from 2000. See, I just lost credit for that. That hurt me to not know that. It hurt me to not have that information, to not know that about this card. So this is the Upper Deck game worn Santa suit basketball card. Let's see, we got yeah, whatever. I've got a couple more. These are vintage. These are older ones actually. So this is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar tops. You can see the colors are a little more muted. People still didn't know what to think about NBA basketball back then. You know, and that's part of the cool thing is like Jordan came up at a time where you see the first $1 million Nike shoe deal, and you still have commentators that played professionally and, you know, new guys that went back to go do sales or do construction or, you know, landscaping when they got out of the NFL or NBA, NFL, whatever it is. Now, you know, I think most people think it is the case. It actually is the case that if you're a professional athlete like Jordan, whoever it is, you know, whatever, like Pele doesn't have to work again. Pele could have played, or whoever it is, Nene, those guys could have played 1 or 2 seasons and they'd have been fine. What up, Shadow Realm? You got a squirt gun? You got a squirt gun for me? Barack Obama is my favorite white dude. Cool. Very cool. Cool. If you have any superpower, what power would you have? My superpower would be instantly attracting people's attention to the topic in the video. Tell me something true. Tell me that you love me, right? No. No, I don't know. I wouldn't want a superpower. I like being myself. I like having to work hard for things. I like having to work hard to understand things and then be able to apply it. Hey, what's up, Josh? Good to see you, Josh. Aaron as well. Remember when we used to say Kareem and now everyone says Kobe? I don't like that. Yeah. Aaron O'Neal. I've got a bunch of, just speaking of your last name, I got a ton of Shaq cards. I got a ton of Shaquille O'Neal cards. That was a really fun Lakers team to watch. I don't watch it. I know it's like lame or not cool to not be that into sports if you're a dude. It's like part of your man card is that you're supposed to watch sports. I honestly don't watch that many sports anymore. Oh, Radical Coder again, guys. One of my favorite streamers. One of my favorite people, Ryan Radical Coder. Great guy to go to. Ryan, I just got a new Chromebook with a MediaTek 520 processor. I'm very excited. I found it for $50 on clearance. $50, so I'm very excited. Took me a long time to buy, but yeah. You know, so it was cool. It was cool. The era of super teams was when I watched sports in the NBA. You know, that kind of like sort of like very end of the 90s. You know, after the Chicago, it took maybe you know 3 or 4 years after Michael Jordan retired to really start putting together and seeing more super teams in action. But once Kobe and Shaq got rolling, you know, 98, 99, I guess that was 1 year after Jordan retired. 98, 99, 99, 2000. Those were very good teams. Hey, what's up, Lex and Rit? I normally troll, but your beard is impressive. Dank, bro. That's respect. I appreciate you. Yeah, I like time. Things I like. I like time. I like routines. Routines are really nice. I like consistency. And I like having those things where it is the case that I'm being humble. You might not think I'm being humble, but it is the case I'm being humble because I don't have this belief that I need to like overly invest or totally ignore my sort of look or aesthetic. I know my hair looks a little crazy. I know my beard goes out a little bit, but I can fix that later. I can fix that later. No problem. Those are my value. That's my personal me duck Nathan Swift, by the way. Those are my values. If you guys want to like and subscribe, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and I'll just keep ordering you around. Thank you, whoever just tapped that like button. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And yeah. Hakeem Olajuwon. Yeah, sure. I'll show you guys one more set of basketball cards tonight. And then if you guys want to think for just a second while I'm doing this, instead of being told to smash subscribe, smash like, bro, nar. If you guys have something true you want to tell me, or if you guys want to tell me that you love me, hoo. Think about it. I'll come back and I'll see y'all in chat in just a second. Hakeem Olajuwon, baby. Let me see what I got here. I know I do. Oh. This is the one. This is really cool. So someone was talking about comic books earlier. Someone mentioned Alan Moore. So there is this basketball card set called Z-Force, which was all very comic book art themed. And let me see if I can take this out of the sleeve. So this is Hakeem Olajuwon, one of the first players to be born in Africa and play in the NBA. And there you have it. Very cool card. Very cool card. And this card, as you might be able to read, is called SWAT Team. So Hakeem Olajuwon was a great blocker. And you have this powerful green and yellow backing color. Very powerful color. This is a 1996 card, so this is Kobe's rookie year. They put these cards in these cases to grade them so people know the condition and stuff like that. And yeah, these are stupid. Just so you guys know, this is like the if you have any form of neurodivergence, this is like the hard stuff in society. These cards are really expensive to buy and very difficult to sell, so they're not really like a money-making venture. But I do love them. I do love them. I probably spent, this is how nerdy I am. I had nothing to do, so I probably spent hundreds of hours researching cards like this. This is very cool. Hakeem's too quick to shoot around, and this is Hakeem, one of the best defenders in NBA basketball. Hakeem's too quick to shoot around and jumps too well to shoot over. That doesn't leave a player with many options. Perhaps the best idea is to not shoot at all when Hakeem's around. And so that's very rare. One cool thing about this set is that, yeah, it's rare to talk about a defensive player attribute on a piece of memorabilia or a sports card. So that's sick. Hey, what's up, Sierra? My stepdad has the first Superman signed by Stanley Lee and had it appraised. I don't know what it's worth, but it's very cool to look at. That's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, I know guys I know that stuff is always super cool because it almost moves you out of that sort of like market question in some small sense and so this is how I understand it. This is what I think about. A lot of people think just what's the sales price on that kind of crap, but yeah, Stanley signed a lot, but also how often do you see a first edition Superman signed by the author? It's probably difficult to find, difficult to get a copy you want to buy that's in your price range. Even if it's not in good shape, it's probably hard to find that you might research a product like that or something. But yeah, that's cool. He also has a Babe Ruth gold card in a plastic case. Don't know what it's worth, but it's awesome to look at. Babe Ruth is a legend. Yeah, legend. How can you say no to Babe Ruth? How can you say no to Babe Ruth? You hear modern names like Victor Wembanyama. And sometimes, there's always people that want to either take advantage or sell a name, not sell the actual card. So anyways, that's basketball card stuff. Thanks, bro. Lexapro and Ritalin. I appreciate you, my friend. I appreciate you quite a bit, actually. Thank you. I collected cards my whole childhood. Nice. We're doing a card stream now. That's pretty sick. This is my favorite card still. This is my US passport, folks. You guys won't catch me anywhere without this. If I don't have confidence in my country, I don't have tinfoil on. I have baby blue on. I match all the way head to toe. But I've matched dark blue with my passport, folks. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, collecting stuff is fun. Tons of fun. Some of these cards have serial numbers, so you know how many exist. And, you know, it's very rare that you can put a number on something and that makes it goes up in value. So you're a Crip? Yeah, blue from head to toe. I think that's what that means. What gang sign am I supposed to flash? What gang sign? That's a gang sign. Okay. What gang sign am I supposed to flash? I don't do gang signs. Is in Danbury. I don't know what that means, Sierra. I don't know what that means. I don't know anything about baseball cards is what I should have said. I don't know what, yeah. Very sticky topic though. People love talking about things that make you money. People love talking about things that other people are passionate about. There's always lots of really good reasons to have a conversation, have that powerful conversation. 35. Yes. Let's see you crip walk. I don't know how to crip walk. I don't know. Ooh, I know how to squeeze up into a ball, but I don't know how to do anything else. That's all I know. That's all I know, my friends. Come on, somebody tell me something true. Tell me that you love me. Tell me something true. Tell me that you love me. Somebody hit me with some epistemology, folks. Hit me with some epistemology, man. Hit me with some Immanuel Kant. Tell me something true. Tell me what y'all feeling right now. Tell me what y'all feeling right now. Yeah. Yeah, so that's interesting. Basketball cards. So I just bought, not a bunch of shit. I bought some stuff today for streaming. After much research, I got these Sony headphones. Sony's interesting because like with like cards, you know, Sierra's talking about it. Hey, OKC, okay. Hey, I got the Toon Squad jersey on. What's up? Go Thunder, though. Yeah, Russell Westbrook was a ton of fun to watch back in those days. I love that time period. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Late Kobe, young Russ. I believe even at that time, little Isaiah Thomas running around, not so little Isaiah Thomas running around in Boston. If I remember correctly, that was about those same times. But yeah, Sony, right? Crazy company. You know, they make microphones just for cameras. They make stuff harder to understand. You know, when you have a basketball card that's rare, it's a niche product. There's less people that can afford it, less people that actually do buy it, whoever it's marketed to. And so companies like Sony will say, well, look, we're an audio company. We're an audio video company. You might not know Sony, but do you know who does? Every single grip in Hollywood. Every single filmmaker, you know, that's on the West Coast knows Sony. And, you know, when Tyler Perry or whoever it is opens up a property for filmmaking, do you know who he knows? He probably knows Sony as well. He probably knows Sony quite well. And so even though like, yeah, there's millions of people like me, you know, whether they're on a cell phone or a laptop or they have a $7,000, you know, MacBook all-in-one setup or whatever, you know, maybe they don't buy Sony products, but they are still learning from people that know all about Sony and Sennheiser and all these other companies. People in the sports who do sports cards or this other, whatever the other industry is, yeah, if there's a winner and a loser or somebody gets taken advantage of or somebody has a different experience and you're curious about it, well, yeah, you know, you're still going to get information from people doing sheep stuff. Hey, what's up, Zach? Why isn't the world one? We all live on the same Earth, yet we're divided by borders. Oh, you got a pair of singing ones? I always get embarrassed when there's good singers here. Sorry, I'm reading around. We all live on the same Earth. We're divided by borders, flags, and politics. Yeah, that's a nation state. That's a Westphalian nation state, folks. Let me put this in chat. By definition, my friend Zach. And wherever we go, we need a visa, a passport, but why? The Earth belongs to all of us. Well, those decisions, the leaders for some of those choices belong to the state. Sorry if you haven't gone through this yet, but I have bad news. I have very tough news. I have tough news, something like sovereignty or autonomy. These are things that live within those four borders, and we usually agree to this. We agree to this. Why is that? Well, because the definition of a state also means that we have different types of cultures. We relate to problems differently. Oh, boo-hoo, bad news, right? Bad news bears. Tough. We all have to grow up at some point, right? We all have to grow up at some point. And so what's the big deal about this? Well, in the United States, you have people that conquer and have to engineer their way to cover this entire land, right? In the United States, nothing else happens except you cover this land with technology, with neighborhoods, with cities. You have urbanization. You go from people homesteading on farms in sort of central areas to building these massive urban cities. It's not just Richmond, Virginia, but then pretty soon you have New York City or Boston. And then what do you have? You only have New York cities in Boston. And people get upset because now these small places are determining the course of the nation. What happened to all the globalists? Where are the conspiracy theories and the tinfoil hats? Can I tell you something different? Yeah, I could still tell you that people look to places like Los Angeles or New York in the United States. If you go to India, it might be Mumbai or Bangalore. You still have your largest cities. Tough. All kinds of big troubles, all kinds of big problems. So does that go anywhere else? Yeah, at some point you have a tapestry of these small systems which form a big system. That's what happens. It's evolution. It didn't come from nowhere. It's evolution. Some economists would say that, buying and selling, supply demand is what built this. Supply and demand in the most literal sense, that you don't have a company making railroad spikes if they can't sell railroad spikes. And if someone can't sell the railroad in the first place, you don't have railroad spikes either. Someone else will tell you that, well, this identity is the most powerful thing ever. If you go to the South in the United States, you have a slave owner mentality. You have this idea. You have an idea that, these agrarian, familial, close community ties are what builds the future. It turns out that's not true. Those are unpredictable power structures. You can do anything you want. You don't have to even keep up. You don't even have to compete for other people. You go to the North at that time, and what are people saying? They're still saying, well, where is the Spanish Armada? Where is the Spanish Armada? Where are our enemy friends in Britain and France? Where is everyone? How long do we have to wait until someone is more powerful and they decide they want to conquer us? So that's it's a lot of violence. If you're on the wrong side of this, it's a lot of violence. And it's also a very different mindset. Where's justice to be found there? Where's unity, Zach? I didn't find that. Hey, Princess Maya, good to see you. I'm sorry for the frowny face. That's unfortunate. Frowny cat. Happy cat and frowny cat. What are we frowning about? If I can help you with something, let me know. Something true or something not true. It's all good. Whatever you want. I'm an instrument engineer. I wish so. I wish so. That'd be cool. We've got a blocked message in chat. Hey, Ziv, what's up? This guy seems r-slurred. Yeah, sure, Ziv. Sorry about that. Yeah, if you have questions about political science or political theory or something like that, that's cool. And yeah. You know, there's this weird idea for sure that, you know, if you want to contextualize the Southern mentality, who knows? This is making stuff up, but maybe they felt that the internal motivation and the virtue that a family community brought, and having this sharp distinction between us and them with slaves and, you know, wealthy landowners and poor whites in the South, it doesn't matter. That organization is so motivating that you have to be able to make better decisions. How else would you make a good decision? The Yankees have no inspiration. They have no direction. They have no purpose, no value. You can just float through lives meaninglessly. Well, how did that turn out? It didn't. And when they found out it wasn't going to turn out, what did they do? They burnt down half the country. They said, this is better. At this point now, it's not only our bad decision, but our pride is worth fighting and dying for. Our pride. I can hear the soy from your voice. See, Kyle, I appreciate you quite a bit. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Have a good one. Fede, do you think human beings are born with evil being part of us, or is the world and people around us as the ones who made it evil? Wow. I don't know what evil means. Who's evil? Is Jeffrey Dahmer evil? That's amazing. You know, I think if someone sat down with Jeffrey Dahmer, like a forensic psychologist, right? A parent who has raised someone with symptomatic, you know, outward displaying sociopathy or psychopathy, that was a successful parent. They're a family, right? You know, someone like that understood that, you know, whatever he was experiencing or experienced or went through, whatever that was or what it was like, you know, could have some semblance of understanding for that person. So I don't know what makes someone evil. I think the lack of understanding is what evil is. My mic is cutting out. I'm sorry, Princess Maya. Can I help? Hello. I'm sorry. I apologize as well. That's my bad. I'm sorry. Where in America are you from? I'm in Australia. Oh, hi, mate. Is that right? I'm in the Southwest. I'm in the United States. Southwest United States. I'm in Arizona. We were just talking about it. It's 46 to, it's like 44 to 46, 47 centigrade here right now. Yeah, I'm streaming at 12:51 a.m. I'm going to be out running in the morning, probably between 10 and 12 or so. So I run in the daytimes when it's hot. Are you on cocaine? Sure seems like it. Hey, Johnny, I think I've seen you. Good to see you again, Johnny the Monkey. You got to update your PFP, bro. You guys go frickin', if you guys use YouTube regularly, go upload a frickin' picture or whatever. It's not like, okay, I'm not telling you guys to download Discord and start searching the Android store for the newest social media apps and stuff. But you guys can upload a picture. It's in the Google profile settings. Like the stream, subscribe first, but go do that. Take some pride, right? Take some pride in it, right? When I got this US passport, do you know what the United States government did for me? They put all of these very, very nice pictures in here. What do you think that is? You think that's not about the United States of America? I'm just making sure my name's not watermarked on any of these. These are pretty cool. No stamps on these pages. Pretty cool. There's the agrarian South of the United States or whatever it is. Hey, salam, Mohammed Mad Kamran. Salam, peace. Hello and peace to you. Aye. That was it. Steve Irwin. So in Arizona, there's in Arizona, there's actually a big aquarium. It's an indoor aquarium. And yeah, there's a stingray exhibit. So there's these glass cases with all kinds of different like water monitors, this kind of stuff. And then there's this big open area there's a very big open area, and so I went with my family, and one of the things that was super cool about this was you could go in and pet the baby stingrays and stuff. I always feel weird about animals, like, because I am vegan. I'm not trying to be that like ethical or moral, but I felt weird, but it's cool to see, right? So not cocaine, Johnny, no drugas. 35, Princess Maya, 35 years old. I'm 35. Yeah, you're a crypto troll. I don't know what a crypto troll is. I know like Martin Shkreli. Do you guys know that guy? Martin Shkreli was one of the Pharma Bros. He's on YouTube and stuff. Yeah, guys, please no doxing, no personal information in chat, by the way. Thank you. No offense. If you guys ask a question or whatever, that's not itself a violation of TOS or anything like that, but we don't need to be talking about names, locations, all that kind of stuff. Just don't worry about it, guys. This is the internet still. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Plant-based diet, some of that stuff might be helping. I don't think that's a good reason, right? To, longevity. Maybe. I don't think so. I don't know. Do you guys diet to stay healthy? Do you guys diet to stay younger? Diet to be stronger? Diet to be more masculine or more feminine? What do you guys think about food? Does food have that sort of relationship with our bodies? Yeah, it absolutely does a little bit, maybe. I don't know. If you don't think about it, does it? No, it doesn't. It's just metabolic, right? It's just, our mouths, our brains, our various glands in our brains, various brain regions, as well as our stomachs, all do a lot to sort of fuel that metabolic process through hormones, right? So healthy diets in some sense, like 1% healthier tomorrow or 1% healthier, it keeps that sort of chemical highway going. That's sort of one analogy that, yeah, if you can imagine what keeps traffic moving on a freeway, well, if you can eat 1% healthier and you have the right hormones and sort of chemical and neuroreceptive capabilities to maintain a sort of stable metabolic state for 48 hours, that's way healthier. That's way healthier than the stop and go, start kind of thing. It's not even about, it's not even about whether you can create or have a giant bicep peak. I'm not that hard. Oh, I felt my chest give out when I did that, but it's all good. A lot of fruit from Lexapro. Being a vegan would be hard. I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of people say that they think they'd be giving something up by going vegan. I don't know if I believe that, but yeah. I don't know if I actually believe that, but it is what it is. Do you believe in miracle? Did you believe in miracles? Yeah, when I was Catholic, I don't know, maybe I said I did. I don't think I did even when I was like honestly, even when I was like 10 years old. I was an altar server. I did all that kind of stuff, Zach. And so I would, yeah, like I didn't believe in the virgin birth of Jesus because obviously in the United States, you're raised Catholic or Christian. Muscles are decent. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Ooh, those are the scary muscles, right? Big scary muscles. All that shit. What's up? Oh, I'm one of many. Tell you something true. Okay, I was shot, stabbed, had my nose bit off, and had 48 stitches in my head by 12 years old. Yeah, that'll do it to you. That'll do it to you for sure. I hope you're put back together. Yeah, I'm not saying God bless you like in the eternal sense, but I'm an atheist, but God bless you, right? Yeah. Oh, whoops. I gotta end the stream. I don't know why.